Hello, Jay here. Welcome to Intermediate Guitar Chapter 16. Okay, we're going to keep talking about some dominant 7 chords. Today we're going to target the keys of F and B flat. Okay, let's start off with an F7 bar chord based off of the low 6th string. I've got my standard shape here, so my index finger is on the 1st fret 6th string, ring fingers on the 3rd fret 5th string, barring to get the 1st fret on the 4th string with my index, middle gets the 2nd fret 3rd string, and then barring to get the 1st frets on the 1st and 2nd string. There's your F7. Another good variation is just add your pinky to the 4th fret on the 2nd string. Okay, now also off of our 5th string, there's 2 good shapes. Now sometimes you could use either or, depending. I'm going to be targeting our 1st fret low string for these particular progressions coming up, but there's also a really nice accessible F7 area on your 8th fret on the 5th string. So let's start off with the bar chord. It's going to be your index finger on the 8th fret 5th string, ring finger gets the 10th fret 4th string, barring to get the 8th fret on the 3rd string, pinky gets the 10th fret on the 2nd string, and then barring to get the 8th fret on the 1st string. And I'm going to make some contact and mute my low 6th string. There's your F7. Okay, now the C shape for our F7 is going to be ring finger on the 8th fret 5th string, middle finger's got the 7th fret 4th string, pinky gets the 8th fret 3rd string, and index gets the 6th fret on the 2nd string. And I'm going to mute my low and high string. Okay, now for B flat, I want to point out that this is also enharmonically known as A sharp, and we talked about the sharp side of a lot of these keys in the previous chapters. So today we're going to target identifying this as a B flat. Now, if I'm in the key of F, I would refer to this note as B flat as opposed to an A sharp, and sometimes it just depends on the keys that we're in. So I just want to point that out. Okay, now for B flat, we're going to keep us in this first position, and we're just going to do that same 5th string bar chord, but now we're in B flat based off of the 1st fret on the 5th string with my index. I got my ring finger on the 3rd fret 4th string, barring getting the 1st fret 3rd string with my index, pinky gets the 3rd fret on the 2nd string, and then 1st fret on the 1st string is with my bar. And I'm going to make some contact and mute my low 6th string. Okay, now let's climb on up. Equally accessible is our B flat off of the low 6th string. It's on our 6th fret. I'm going to be targeting the 1st fret for our progressions today, but this is just equally a cool place to play your B flat. Okay, now I'm going to be doing that E string shape. So I've got my index finger on the 6th fret 6th string, ring fingers on the 8th fret 5th string, barring to get the 6th fret on the 4th string with my index, middle gets the 7th fret 3rd string, and then 6 frets on the first 2 strings with my index. Okay, now here's that variation if we put our pinky on the 9th fret on the 2nd string. Last one I'm going to give us is the D string root for our B flat 7 chord. Really cool chord. It's going to pop up a little bit higher pitch, and for this one our index finger is on the 8th fret 4th string, ring finger gets the 10th fret 3rd string, middle has the 9th fret 2nd string, and pinky has the 10th fret on the 1st string. And I'm just going to avoid my low 2 strings. This chapter's strum pattern is going to feature some 8th notes and our rhythm we've been working on with the 2 16th notes and the 8th note. Okay, now when you see a box without a bottom, that's a down strum, and an arrow pointing down is an up strum. Okay, now on beat 1 we're going to have 8th notes, and I recommend just 2 down strums for that. On beat 2, we're going to have the 2 16th notes and the 8th note, and then I'm going to recommend a down, up, down for that, and then repeat that same process for beat 3 and 4. Okay, now here's that pattern without a chord. 1 and 2 E and 3 and 4 E and 1 and 2 E and 3 and 4 E and 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just be playing each of these one time, but I recommend repeat all these 8 to 12 times and try your different tempos, slow, medium, and fast. Okay, grab your F7 chord and let's go ahead and do 4 bars with that pattern. 1 and 2 E and 3 and 4 E and. recommend to incorporate a metronome. I'm going to have my click at 60 beats a minute. Here's number 1 with a click. 1 and 2 EN, 3 and 4 EN. For number 2, we're going to go 4 bars with a B flat 7. 1 and 2 EN, 3 and 4 EN. Here's number 2 a little faster. 1, 2, 3 and 4 EN. Okay, for number 3, we're going to have an 8 bar progression. We'll go 4 bars of F7 into 4 bars of B flat 7. 1 and 2 EN, 3 and 4 EN. For number 4, we're going to go 2 bars of F7 into 2 bars of B flat 7. 1, 2, 3 and 4 EN. For number 5, we're going to go 1 bar of F7 into 1 bar of B flat 7, and then repeat that again for bars 3 and 4. 1 and 2 EN, 3 and 4 EN. Okay, for number 6 and the next numbers to come, we're going to incorporate some chords from previous chapters along with some rhythms that we've talked about. For number 6, we're going to start off with F7, normal pattern for bar 1, and then we'll have a whole note on bar 2. That's going to be a chord lasting for 4 beats. We'll switch it to a C7 on bar 3, normal pattern, and then we'll have another whole note for that last bar. Now your C7, I'm going to be doing the same shape as we did for our B flat on the A string, but now I'm just up on my 3rd fret on the 5th string with my index. Ring finger's got the 5th fret on the 4th string. Barring to get the 3rd fret with my index on the 3rd string, pinky gets the 5th fret on the 2nd string, and then barring to get the 1st fret on the 1st string. I'm sorry, barring to get the 3rd fret on the 1st string with my index. And I'm going to mute my low 6th string. Okay, here comes number 6. 1, 2, 3, and 4 EN. 2, 3, 4. Okay, for number 7, we're going to start off with the B flat 7. We'll have a whole note rest for the first bar. That's going to be nothing for 4 beats. When we start off bar 2, we're going to start off with a half note rest. So again, we're going to be resting for another 2 beats, and then we'll resume our pattern on beat 3. On bar 3, we're going to switch it to an A7 with normal pattern for both those bars. Now for my A7, I'm going to target this one all on my low 6th string. So I'm going to be playing my B flat bar chord on my 6th fret E string, and then I'm just going to slide down 1/2 step to play my A7. For A7, I've got my index finger on the 5th fret 6th string, ring finger's got the 7th fret 5th string, barring to get the 5th fret on the 4th string with my index, middle has the 6th fret 3rd string, and then index gets the 5th frets on the 1st and 2nd string. Okay, here comes number 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest, 2, 3, 4, rest, 2. Okay, for number 8, we're going to have an 8-bar progression. We're going to start off with F7, normal pattern for bar 1. On bar 2, we're going to have normal pattern but with a quarter note rest on beat 2. On bar 3, we're going to switch it to a G7. We'll have normal pattern. On bar 4, normal pattern but with a quarter note rest on beat 1. We're going to switch it to a D7. On bar 5, normal pattern. On bar 6, we'll have normal pattern but with a quarter note rest on beat 4. And then we'll take it to a D minor on bar 7, normal pattern. And on the last bar, bar 8, we're going to have a half note. Actually 2 half notes. So each of those chords will last for 2 beats. Okay, for your G7, I'm just going to play that same shape we've been doing for F7, but I'm going to base it off of my 3rd fret on the 6th string. So I've got my index, 3rd fret, 6th string, ring fingers, 5th fret, 5th string, barring to get the 3rd fret with my index on the 4th string. Middle finger's got the 4th fret, 3rd string, and then getting the 3rd frets on the first 2 strings with my index. Okay, for D7, I'm going to be doing my 5th string shape bar chord for this. So I've got my index on the 5th fret, 5th string, ring fingers on the 7th fret, 4th string, barring to get the 5th fret on the 3rd string with my index. Pinky's got the 7th fret, 2nd string, and then index gets the 5th fret on the 1st string. And muting my low 6th string. Okay, now from here I'm just going to switch it to a D minor bar chord. So I've got my index still on the 5th fret, 5th string, ring fingers on the 7th fret, 4th string, pinky's got the 7th fret, 3rd string, middle has the 6th fret, 2nd string, and then barring to get the 5th fret on the 1st string with my index. Again, muting my low 6th string. Okay, I'm going to do number 8 with the click. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4, E, and. Rest. 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 2, 4. For this chapter's scales, we're going to talk about F Mixolydian, F blues scale, B flat Mixolydian, and the B flat blues scale. Okay, your F Mixolydian is basically going to be F major scale with a flat 7, and this flat 7 is what makes it sound really nicely over dominant 7 chords. So we're always pairing up our scales and the chords that match. Okay, now for your F Mixolydian, the notes are going to be an F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E flat, and then back to an F. And for this one, let's go ahead and take it up 2 octaves plus a couple notes. With your notes, it's going to be 1 to 3 on your 6th string, open 1, 3, 5th string, open 1, 3, 4th string, open 2, 3, 3rd string, 1, 3, 4, 2nd string. Your 1st fret on the 1st string is your 2nd octave F, and we'll climb up 2 more notes. Coming back down, we'll go 3 to 1 1st string, 4, 3, 1 2nd string, 3, 2 open 3rd string, 3, 1 open 4th string, 3, 1 open 5th string, and then 3 to 1 on your 6th string. Okay, now I recommend to work your 4 basic rhythms: quarter notes, 8th note triplets, and 16th notes. I'm going to start off with some quarter notes, just 1 on each note. 1, 2, 3, 4. Play the next rhythms with a metronome. For 8th notes, you could do 2 on each note or just 1 on each note. I'm going to do just 1 on each note. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. For 8th note triplets, you could do 3 on each note or just 1. I'm going to do 3 on each note. 1, 2, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Okay, for 16th notes, you could do 1 on each note, or 4. I'm going to do 1 on each note. 1, 2, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Okay, for number 1B, we're going to put our new rhythm onto the scale. Now, just going up one octave, I'm going to go 1 E and, 2 E and, 3 E and, 4 E and you could pick all down picks or do a down, up, down, alternate picking, and I'm going to do a down, up, down. Okay, here comes one octave. 1, 2, 3 E and, 4 E and. Okay, now I also recommend to take it up to 2 octaves. I'm going to go ahead and do that. 1, 2, 3 E and, 4 E and. Okay, for number 2A, we're going to talk about the F blues scale. Okay, now your notes for F blues is going to be an F, A flat, B natural, C, E flat, leading us back to an F. The blues scale is basically a minor pentatonic with an added flat fifth. Okay, let's go ahead and play our notes. It's going to be 1 to 4 on your 6th string, 1, 2, 3 on your 5th string, and right there, that middle note is your flat 5, leading us to the 5th. Okay, on your 4th string, we'll go 1 to 3. On your 3rd string, it's a 1, 3, 4. 2nd string is a 1, 4. And your 1st string is a 1, 4. Backtracking to your 1st fret 1st string, 4, 1 2nd string, 4, 3, 1 3rd string, 3 to 1 on your 4th string, 3, 2, 1 on your 5th string, and then 4 to 1 on your 6th string. Okay, I'm just going to do quarter notes for this, but I also recommend hit your other 3 rhythms. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, for number 2B, we're going to put our new rhythm on this scale, and I'm going to do all down picks for this. And here's 1 octave. 1 E and, 2 E and, 3 E and, 4 E and. Okay, I'm going to do the same concept up 2 octaves this time. 1, 2, 3 E and, 4 E and. Okay, for number 3, we're going to do a sequence. This is one we've been doing for the last couple chapters. This is called groups of 4. So I'm basically going to go up 4 notes. I'm going to backtrack 3 notes and then go up 4 notes from there. So it's always a group of 4. Okay, now here it is, just one at a time. This would be the first group of 4. Next one. Next one. Then. And then. Okay, so we're going to be using the F Mixolydian scale for these sequences, and here comes groups of 4, 1 octave. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I also recommend take these up 2 octaves. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now here's number 4. We're going to descend our groups of 4. Here's 1 octave. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now here's descending 2 octaves with groups of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. number 5 and 6, we're gonna do fourths. So what we'll do is we'll hit the first note, jump up a fourth interval, backtrack 3 notes, and then jump up a fourth from there. Okay, now your fourths are gonna look like this. First fret to first fret, third fret to third fret, and depending on where we are with the scale, sometimes we're gonna be splitting up different frets or hitting same frets. We'll see as we go. Okay, now here comes ascending fourths. 1, 2, 3, 4. And here's descending fourths. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we're going to take it to B flat. Your B flat Mixolydian Scales notes are going to be a B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat to a B. Okay, now I'm going to give you 3 lead up notes to get to our B flat. It's going to be your 1st, 3rd, and 4th fret on your low 6th string. Okay, now it's going to take us to our B flat, and that's our 1st fret, 5th string. We'll go 1 to 3. 4th string is an open 1, 3. Your 3rd string is an open 1, 3. On your 2nd string, we'll go 1, 3, 4. And on the 1st string, we'll climb up 1, 3, 4, 6. And that's your 2nd octave B flat right there. Okay, now taking it back down, we'll go 4, 3, 1 on the 1st string, 4, 3, 1 on the 2nd string, 3, 1 open on your 3rd string, 3, 1 open on your 4th string, and then 3 to 1 on your 5th string. And if we want to take it all the way down, we'll go 4, 3, 1 on the 6th string. Okay, now I'm just going to do quarter notes. Definitely work your other basic rhythms too, and I'm going to start right on the note B flat. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now here's our new rhythm, playing 1 octave. 1 EN, 2 EN, 3 EN, 4 EN. Here's that new rhythm going up 2 octaves. 1, 2, 3 EN, 4 EN. Okay, for number 2, we're going to go into the B flat blues scale. Our notes for this scale, it's going to be a B flat, D flat, E flat, E natural to an F, and then an A flat, leading us back to a B flat. Okay, now a couple lead up notes to get to B flat. It's going to be 1 to 4 on our low 6th string. Takes us to B flat. Now from here on the 5th string, we'll go 1 to 4. Your 4th string is a 1, 2, 3. 3rd string is a 1, 3. 2nd string is a 2, 4, 5. And your 1st string will be a 1, 4, 6. Taking it back down, we'll go 4 to 1 on the 1st string, 5, 4, 2 on the 2nd string, 3 to 1 on your 3rd string, 3, 2, 1 on your 4th string, 4 to 1 on your 5th string, and then 4 to 1 on your 6th string if you want to go all the way down. Okay, I'm going to start off right on the note B flat. I'm going to do just quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, for number 2B, I'm going to put the new rhythm on our B flat blues scale. This is 1 octave. 1, 2, 3 EN, 4 EN. Okay, now here's going up 2 octaves. 1, 2, 3 EN, 4 EN. 3, and 4, we're going to go into groups of 4. Okay, now here comes groups of 4, 1 octave, starting right on a B flat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I'm going to climb up 2 octaves, groups of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now here's groups of 4 descending 1 octave. 1, 2, 3, 4. And here's descending groups of 4, 2 octaves. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now for number 5 and 6, we're going to go with our fourths interval. Okay, now here comes fourths, ascending. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's descending fourths. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I always recommend to jam on your chords and your scales. So I'm going to jam on a little F7 and then play some F Mixolydian and some F blues scale. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Little chord, some scale. Okay, now I'm going to do the same concept on B flat. I'm going to play some B flat chord and play some B flat scales. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to some chords, some more scales. Okay, for this chapter study, we're going to talk about some blues, and I can't recommend blues enough. It's really fun to play. It's fun to listen to. I have a lot of blues heroes, definitely people like B.B. King, Albert King, Freddie King, all the Kings, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jimi Hendrix too, a lot of the blues rock people I like a lot. So great style of music. A lot of it's got a lot of great guitar in there too. So check into it. You might dig it. Okay, now for this study, I'm going to give us, to start off, 4 different blueses. These are all 12-bar blues forms, which is pretty common form of blues. These blues are going to have some different changes as we get going through here. They're going to get jazzed up a little bit. All these blues are going to feature what we call a quick change, and we're going to go right to the 4 chord on the 2nd bar. as opposed to just hanging out on our one chord for a stretch. So pretty cool way to jazz up your blues a little bit too, makes it exciting, adds a chord in there. As we call out blues, sometimes we'll use terminology like the one chord, the four chord, the five chord, and as we add chords, we'll talk about them kind of in a Roman numeral sense, but all of it relates to the key that we're in. I'm going to be doing all bar chords for all of these chord progressions, and if you want to do open chords, that's totally cool too. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at number one. This is a 12-bar blues in G, and all the chords are going to be dominant 7 chords, which is pretty common when you're doing some blues. And just going to recommend all quarter notes for this, and we can do all down strums. If you take a look at the first line there, it's going to be a G7 for the first bar. The quick change happens on bar 2. We go to our C7, that's our 4 chord, and then take it back to G7 for the next 2 bars. Bar 5, we're going to go to a C7 for 2 bars, that's the 4 chord. Then we'll go back to our G7 chord for 2 bars. On the last 4 bars, we call this the turnaround. It's going to go to our 5 chord, which is a D7, go back to our 4 chord, which is a C7, take us back to our 1 chord, that's our G7, and then ending on the 5 chord, which is our D7. Okay, here comes number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I'm just going to be strumming through these one time, but these are great to jam, keep repeating. They're also really fun to play with other people too and start to improvise, and you could jam your solos and run your scales. So if you are going to play this one and jam over it, you could be playing in your G minor pentatonic, G blues scale. You can get away with some Mixolydian scale too, and check into it, have some fun with it. You can also record yourself and jam along with it. If you ever find some blues recordings, sometimes you can find the key and start jamming along with that too. I definitely recommend that. Okay, now number 2 is going to be an A minor blues. So blues can definitely be major or minor vibe. For number 2, we're going to start off with an A minor for the first bar. We're going to do a quick change to a D minor for bar 2. Take it back to an A minor for 2 bars. We're going to go on bar 5 and 6 back to D minor, that's our 4 chord. Back to the 1 chord A minor for the next 2 bars. On bar 9, we're going to go to an E7 chord, and that's our 5 chord, and it's going to be a dominant chord. We'll go back to our 4 chord, that's a D minor, and take it back to our 1 chord A minor, and then end on an E7. For strumming, for this one, I'm going to have 2 quarter notes and then 2 beats of 8th notes. Now for your quarter notes, you can just go down strums. For your 8th notes, you could do a down up and a down up, or you can keep them all downs depending on what you're feeling. Okay, now for rhythms, we could play straight or laid back or swung. So for this one, I'm going to play this as a swung rhythm. Okay, here comes number 2. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and okay, let's take a look at number 3. Now we're going to go into the key of D. We're going back to our dominant chords. We're going to start off bar 1 with the D7. We'll go to our quick change. That's a G7. That's our 4 chord on bar 2. Back to a D7 on bar 3. Now on bar 4, we're going to do what's called a 2-5, leading us to a G7. So we're going to do an A minor for the first 2 beats of bar 4, and then we'll go to a D7 for the next 2 beats. And in the key of G, A would be my 2 chord and D would be my 5 chord. So that's going to kind of set up us going to our G chord. And those are some things I learned studying jazz. The 2-5-1's a nice way to tonicize a chord or to get you there. Okay, we'll hang on our G7 for 2 bars. We're going to take it back to our D7 on bar 7. On bar 8, we're going to go to a B7, and that is our 6th chord. And that's another fun way we can start to jazz up our blues, is add some chords. On bar 9, we're going to take it to an E minor, and that's our 2 chord. It's a minor chord in the key of D. Now we're going to go to an A7 on the next bar, and that's our 5 chord. So we're doing, again, a 2-5, but we're stretching this out a bar each in this example, leading us back to a D on the second to last bar. We're going to do a D7 for 2 beats. We're going to go to a B7 for 2 beats, and that's our 6th chord. And then on the last bar, we're going to do a 2-5, leading us back to D. So we're going to split that up with an E minor and an A7. Okay, so this is using some, like, you could almost say this is a jazz blues at this point, because we're definitely using some of the 2-5-1 concepts. Okay, now for this one, I'm going to play straight. And our rhythm is going to be 2 beats of 8th notes and then 2 quarter notes. I'm going to play a straight rhythm. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Okay, there you go. Now I'm going to play number 3 with a swung rhythm this time. 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Okay, for number 4, we're going to go into the key of E minor. We're going to start off with E minor on bar 1. We're going to do the quick change to an A minor on bar 2. That's our 4 chord. And then back to E minor for 2 bars. Take it to A minor for the next 2 bars. Back to E minor for the next 2 bars. Now our turnaround for this one, we're going to go to our 5 chord on bar 9. And then on bar 10, we're going to split this up with a C7 and a B7. That's a flat 6 dominant chord, taking us back down to our 5 chord. It's kind of a cool, soulful, real bluesy turnaround here. And then it's going to take us back to our key, our 1 chord on the second to last bar. And then we'll end on our 5 chord, setting us up to start over again. Now for strumming for this one, we're going to have a quarter note, 2 beats of 8th notes, and then a quarter note. I'm going to start off swung for this one. Here comes number 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Okay, for part 2 of our blues study, we're going to start reading some tab, and I'm going to show you some cool, some riffs that we can do through a blues progression. Okay, for number 1, we're going to go back to a blues in the key of G. Just want to point out our chord progression. We're going to have our standard 12-bar blues form here. So we're going to go G7 for the first bar. That's our 1 chord. We're going to do the quick change to a C7 on bar 2. That's the 4 chord. Back to G7 for 2 bars. We'll go to C7 for 2 bars. Back to G7 for 2 bars. And then for our turnaround, we'll just be doing the 5 chord D7 to the 4 chord C7, back to our 1 chord G7, and then ending on our 5 chord D7. So real similar to what we did in our strumming before, but now we're going to put a cool riff on there. Now this riff's going to be compatible with the G7 chord or all the dominant 7 chords. And here's the concept. We're going to hit 8th notes all throughout this bar, and we're going to play the root 2 times, jump up to the octave 2 times. That's our going to be starting off on our 3rd fret 6th string, jump up to your 5th fret on the 4th string, backtrack to your 3rd fret on the 4th string, and then end on your 5th fret on the 5th string. Okay, so theoretically what we have here is a root, octave, flat 7, and then a 5th. So basically getting inside of a dominant 7 chord. Okay, now as I go through the chord progression, I'm just going to stamp that same pattern on each chord. So this is on G. Here here it is on C. And when I get to D, okay, here goes number 1. And I'm going to play this straight and swung, so I'm going to start off straight. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, now I'm going to play the same thing swung, and this one does definitely like to be swung. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, for number 2, I'm going to give us a cool kind of rhythmic boogie pattern to play some blues. They're real popular, they're really fun. In the first book, we talked about how to do this with some open strings, and they sounded like this. Now for this book, we're going to work off of the fretted concept for this. Now this is nice because it can also be moved into any key. Now for this one, I'm going to be working off of an A power chord. So I've got my 5th fret on the low 6th string with my index. Ring finger gets the 7th fret on the 5th string. So there's my power chord. Now if we hit this 2 times, that's my beat 1. I'm going to stretch to my 9th fret on the 5th string and hit this twice for beat 2. And then I'm just going to repeat that process again for beats 3 and 4. Back to the power chord, back to the stretch. Now for the stretch, I can have my ring finger planted, or I could lift up my ring finger too, whatever helps that out a little bit. Okay, now here would be bar 1 with that pattern. On bar 2, I'm going to take it to my D7. Here's the quick switch. Back to A for 2 bars. And so on and so on. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and play through the 12-bar blues with that pattern. Here comes number 2, swung. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, and then here's number 2 straight. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, thank you so much for watching. I'll look forward to seeing you for chapter 17. Cheers.